Hello students, welcome to the science class. If you had remembered, we were discussing about the properties of the magnet or the fun with the magnet. Today we will continue with the same chapter with the explanation of the next section. That is the attraction and repulsion property between the magnets. Now, if we bring two magnets closer to one another, sometimes you will see those magnets are repelling, sometimes you can see those magnets are being attracted towards each other. So here we had discussed about the two properties, that is the attraction and the repulsion. Attraction means they are coming closer to each other, and repulsion means they are pushing away or going further from each other. So we are placing the two magnets in such a way that the north pole of the one magnet faces the north pole of the other magnet. So here, after doing this, we will see these two magnetic pieces or these two magnets are repelling each other. That means they are going away from each other. So, from here, we can come to the conclusion that is two like poles. Here we had attached, or here we had done the experiment with the two north poles. So, the like poles repel each other. Next, again, the same magnet, that is we are placing two magnets near each other in such a way that the north pole of the one magnet are facing the south pole of the other magnet. So if we are doing this activity, we will see that is unlike poles of the magnets are attracting each other. So these unlike poles, that means one magnet's north pole and one magnet's south pole, these unlike poles are coming closer to each other, or in a way we can say they are attracting each other. So from here we are coming to the conclusion of a very significant property of the magnet, that is, if the magnets are placed by facing two like poles to each other, they will repel. And on the other hand, if they are these activities are we are doing with the two unlike poles facing each other, they will attract. Next property of I mean Next, we will discuss that if you are given two iron bars, identical to iron bars, how far or how you will identify which one is a magnet and which one is a simple iron bar. So before going into the activity, we will take first a few iron clips and will scatter on near a table or a paper or a plate, wherever it is convenient for you. After spreading this, then you will bring the two identical bars of iron which were given to you for tasting. So, what will you find? You will find that the clips are getting attracted towards one iron bar. So, ultimately, from this activity, we can conclude that the iron clips can be attracted only towards magnet. If that iron bar is simply an iron bar, then the clips or the magnet or the iron made things will not be attracted towards it. But the magnet has a specific property, that is, it attracts all the iron clips. So all the iron clips are attracted towards magnet, they will not be attracted towards a normal iron bar. So from here we can come into the conclusion, that is, iron bar does not attract a iron clip, but magnets attract the iron clip. So if you are given two identical iron bars, you will one having magnetic property, you can identify them easily by some of the iron material. Now we in this chapter we had learned so many things about magnet. Now we are coming to the instruction, or coming to the method by which the magnet is made, by which we can make a magnet. Now there are many ways of making the magnet, but the easiest way of making the magnet is the stroke method or stroking method. If we stroke an iron bar with one end, or one end means one pole of a bar magnet, repeatedly in the same direction, as you had seen in the picture which is provided in the slide, the magnets are following the same pathway, and then ultimately the iron bar will become a magnet. Thus, for this activity, we need two things to make a magnet: an iron bar, or you can take an iron strip also, and a bar magnet. And the method of making the magnet I is simple. Like, you have to take an iron bar or an iron strip which is to be made a magnet, and you have to keep them in the wooden table, and also you have to take a bar magnet. Now hold you have to hold one end of the bar magnet in your hand and keep the other end of the bar magnet at one end of the iron bar. So without lifting, you have to follow the path, follow as it is shown in the picture. And then after doing some time, you will see, the after stroking, the the iron bar which you had taken has been transferred into a bar magnet. So it is very much most common method, is most common method of making a bar magnet. Now we are coming to the very essential thing. Like, we had studied so much about the properties of the magnet, how to make the magnet, but we should also know how to store a magnet. Now, if you just keep the magnet without much knowledge or without the proper technique, the magnet tend to lose their magnetic property, and over period of time it will gradually become weaker, and ultimately it will lose all the magnetic property. So we have to know certain regulations, certain rules, how to store a magnet. Now first, the bar magnets are stored in pairs, as you had seen in the diagram, in the picture given. That is, it is stored in the pairs, which has to be separated by an iron, a wooden board or a wooden plate or a wooden piece. Now, it should be kept in such a manner, that is, there unlike poles on the same side and bars of the soft iron kept across their ends, which are called the keepers. So from here we can see the method by which the two bar magnets are stored by a wooden board and an iron bar facing two unlike poles in one direction. When it comes to a word, or when it comes to a matter of storing an horseshoe shaped magnet, that is an U-shaped magnet, they are stored properly just by keeping a bar of soft iron across their ends. You can see the iron bar, it is kept just across their ends. Since a horseshoe magnet has both its pole, that is North Pole and the South Pole, on the same side, so one horseshoe magnet requires only soft iron bar to its for its proper storage. Now, the horseshoe magnets are usually stored in single, not in pairs. As you can see in the bar magnet, one side contains one pole, so in order to keep the magnets in proper the way, we have to take the bar magnets in pairs. But in horseshoe shaped magnet, two poles are unlike poles, and they are in a u shaped direction, so only we have to take that iron bar in order to save them properly, in order to keep them in a or store them in a proper manner. In this case, we don't need the pairs. So ultimately, we are coming to the conclusion by saying what are the uses of magnets. So even you can understand how important the magnets are. They are the first, I mean, the first uses are they can be used as a to hold the objects, and also it can be used to separate the discarded iron and steel objects. It can be given, it can very importantly, it can be made, I mean, it can be used to make the compass. Compass is so very much essential for bring for taking or for seeing the direction. And also many other things like the telephones, the hair dryer, doorbells, then pencil box, then washing machine, then the doors of the refrigerator. Every of these things are being used with the help or of the magnet. So here we had seen in our daily life, in our daily course, how much important the magnets are. So here we are coming to the end of the chapter, where you had the this entire chapter is basically dealing with the magnet, where you had seen how the magnets are produced, how they are made, how they are used, how what are their properties. So I think by this explanation you had an overall idea about the magnet. So next class will go about the question answers. Till then, all of you still safe, remain at home, maintain the COVID protocol. Thank you.